Hey everyone, my name is Eric. I'm a research engineer at ChainSafe, and over the weekend we built Zipline. So a lot of this talk is going to sound very similar to the stuff that Succinct Lab was talking about, because we basically were like heavily inspired by them.
Sweet, I'm Willem. I also work at ChainSafe as a researcher.
I'm Cayman. I also work as an engineer at ChainSafe.
Cool. So what do we want from bridges? We want trustlessness, meaning that we can verify all the information to be correct. We want permissionless, so we want anybody to be able to participate as a relayer. And we also want generic messaging, which means we can build any type of generic cross-chain app and not just like token bridges. So proof of consensus, you heard this once already today. It's basically the ability to verify somebody else's consensus. So for example, verifying Ethereum's Casper. Already said, this is very expensive, a lot of BLS signature verifications. There is one implementation that does this. It's bridging to Polkadot though, and they're called Snowbridge, which we used a lot of their stuff as well.
Right. The short version of this slide is that there's a cheaper way to stay synced with the chain, like client protocol, but even doing this on chain is not feasible. So some people, like Succinct Labs, are basically proving this light client computation off chain and putting only a snark on chain.
Sweet. So we basically wanted to copy that, but mix in the fraud proofs from like the previous presentation. In fact, the previous two presentations were like the perfect warm-up for this. So this was a hackathon project to see if that was kind of a valid thing to do and if it would work. So yeah, fraud proofs, I mean, we just went through that, but it allows someone to prove that someone did not execute a program correctly. And in this case, the program is the Ethereum Light Client protocol. So there it is. And yeah, we stayed up super late and drank a bunch of caffeine and kind of implemented it like during the hackathon, which was very cool. And we got the grant from Gnosis Chain, which was not a grant, bounty, which was really nice of them. So we also use Canon, so we just hacked on the Canon code base to make it basically into a bridge instead of a rollup. What else was there? Oh yeah, some cool things about Canon, like some interesting properties of that that made this possible. It has something called like the pre-image oracle, which lets you retrieve any data by its hash that happens to exist in the call data of the host chain. And so this allowed us to like basically dump all of the committee public keys in the call data and then access it from within the verifiable computation. So this was kind of the most interesting part, probably. Unfortunately, like dumping all of those in the call data is pretty expensive because it's like huge. We don't have the ability to do the kind of cool commitments like you can with the ZK one. So it's going to cost like 400K gas every sync period, so every like 27 hours or whatever, which is like bad, but it's like not too bad. And yeah, like a normal fraud proof, there's a watcher that keeps the relayer honest. Is that it?
Yeah, so it's 400K gas every 27 hours, but then after that, every epoch, it's only 2.5K gas to stay synced, which is a lot better.
And yeah, the unique properties, I guess, you get from doing it this way instead of the ZK way is there's like no on-chain execution in the optimistic case, which is pretty cool. Only the cost of call data. And there's like no storage, you just have to store like 2 hashes. Anyone can relay, so it has that same property of like permissionless. And yeah, by doing this, you can say synced to not just the sync period, but also to the kind of finalized chain. But the downside, of course, is that you have to wait for the challenge period, like the downside of every kind of optimistic or fraud-proof based thing. Okay, I just said that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it was a fun hackathon project. I think like it might be interesting to kind of like do like a multi-client bridge thing, like with a ZK and an optimistic, like what Vitalik was talking about yesterday for rollups. I only just thought of that then though, so cool. Yeah, if you like, check out the repo. It's like kind of hacky, but yeah, thanks for listening.